Hey, what's going on, guys? Mr. Skater here, bringing you another episode of Black Ops 2 Armory Analysis, and this week we'll be comparing the MMS millimeter scanner sight and the Target Finder sight, because that's what you guys said you wanted to see in the next video. So, as always, let me know what you guys want to see in the next episode of Black Ops 2 Armory Analysis down below in the comments, and I will be sure to pick something from that, the thing that I see that you guys say you want to see the most of. So, let's get right into this episode. And the first thing, I think people want to see the MMS sight and the Target Finder sight compared, because they're both special optics in Black Ops 2, and they both do something special, you know, and they're both brand new to the Call of Duty franchise gaming career thing, and they've never been seen before. So that's my thing. So we'll go over what each of them do right here. First, we'll go to the in-game stat bar as always. The Target Finder, as you can see right here, identifies enemies and notifies when an enemy is in the crosshair. It supposedly gives you a +1 point of range and +3 point of accuracy, and is available for the SMGs, the assault rifles, and the LMGs. Now onto the millimeter scanner sight. This detects lingering heat signatures from stationary enemies through materials at up to 25 meters, and supposedly decreases your accuracy by 1 box point, or whatever the heck they're called. And this is available for the shotguns, the SMGs, and the assault rifles. And when you equip both when you equip either of the MMS or the Target Finder, you're not allowed to use any of the other scopes like the ACOG, Reflex, Target Finder, MMS, whatever one you're using, the EOTech or the hybrid optic. And yeah, so let's get into what they actually do with these little charts I made right here. We'll start with the Target Finder, as we did the first thing. So what it does is it highlights enemies with a red diamond in your Target Finder scope, which is really cool. As you can see on the screen right here, shows you where the enemies are and highlights them. It's pretty cool, and it notifies you when the enemy is in sight. As you can see, the crosshairs, they are blue, and then when it goes over an enemy, they turn red and make a little noise, so you know when they're there. And it's really cool to track enemies and all that good stuff. And also, it's a zoom sight, which also gives you tunnel vision, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And it increases or reduces your recoil, not increases. It reduces your recoil by a lot. And as I said, it gives you a +1 point of range, which is quote because I'm not even sure if I didn't even test that, because as I did in the last video, range isn't really something you can test with these. It's not really important with the damage and all that stuff. So some pros of the Target Finder, again, I said it highlights enemies and lets you notify when they're in the sight, and it gives you zoom and gives you reduced recoil. And the only con with it is it gives you little peripheral vision, or the tunnel vision. So, you're looking straight forward. You have no side vision in Call. I can't believe I'm saying that. You have no side vision in Call of Duty. No blur area where you can see enemies. And basically, all you can do is look forward. So that's that. Now we'll go on to the millimeter scanner. The millimeter scanner lets you see through walls, objects, and smoke within 25 meters. It has to be up to 25 meters. It scans every 2 to 3 seconds and has that little nice gritty scan look. It looks really cool. I like it. And something interesting is it zooms in less than the iron sights. If you're just looking with the iron sights down, looking down the iron sights of your gun, it actually zooms in less than that, so you have more peripheral vision, and it's easier to see enemies. And as I said, it gives you a -1 point of accuracy, in quotes again, because, that's not always true. So pros, again, you see through objects, which is cool. More peripheral vision, you get more awareness around. It's really cool. That's kind of a cool thing with the scope. And it highlights enemies, which is when it scans, it actually highlights the enemy in a white outline, which is kind of cool, kind of helps you out, kind of like the Target Finder. And the only cons I got right here is it does have increased recoil on some weapons. I mean, you'll see in a little bit that these things aren't consistent for each weapon. And the only other con is the last attachment unlocked for all the weapons that have it available for. Oh yeah, and you can't put FMJ on with the MMS sight at the same time. I believe they did this because they didn't want people just walking around and wall banging like there's no tomorrow, because you can see through walls and wall bang, and yeah, you just can't have FMJ, so that's that. And now we'll get into, oh no, wait, before we get into the data, also one thing you guys should know is that both of these scopes are countered by cold-blooded, so if the enemy has cold-blooded on, you won't be able to see them with either of these scopes. So now we'll get into the data trials that I did. And as in a lot of different attachments, all the attachments affect each gun differently. And basically the Target Finder, it helps out the LMGs a little bit, as you can see on the screen, the ranges. The MMS sight really helps out the AN94 and the MSMC. I've used them on both, and I really like the MSMC. It helps it out a lot. it doesn't give the MSMC recoil like it does on some guns. You know, you just gotta kind of toy around with it. But I've used it on the MSMC a lot. I always use it on the MSMC with the stock attachment and I think laser sight, and I always use that. And you know, like the M27, as you can see, it has awesome accuracy. Really, you can use either one of these scopes, whatever you prefer to use. And I'm like, really, what I'm coming to with this is that the MMS and the Target Finder, they're both good scopes, both, like I said, different in what they do, and they're both specialized optics, and really, they're different for like every gun. You gotta like toy around and see, like do a little testing by yourself. There's not really one gun it stands out for and one gun it's like really bad. They both affect each gun differently, and you know, you just gotta toy around. I mean, I can tell you right now, the MMS helps out the N94 and the MSMC a lot. And the Target Finder, when I was testing, does help out the PDW and the LMG, but really it all comes down to personal preference, and you know, that's that. The one thing that it doesn't help, which really I wouldn't expect it to help, is the shotguns, because as you can see, the MMS sight right here, you shoot it, it doesn't change the spread really that much at all. So basically, if you're gonna use it on the shotgun, the MMS sight, you're just going to see through walls, which really isn't helpful with the shotgun unless you have FMJ, which you can't use FMJ and MMS at the same time, so that's that. So I told you what each sight does, the pros and cons, give you a little in-depth of it, kind of told you which guns it kind of works with, but really overall it comes down to a personal preference, what you like better, and you guys are going to have to experiment if you want to see which is better for which, because really they all kind of do the same for recoil wise. Some do a little better with the Target Finder, some guns do a little better with the MMS sight. I mean, you just gotta toy around and test it out. So that's all I have for you guys here. Make sure you guys comment below and tell me your thoughts on this and what you guys would like to see for the next Armory analysis video. And as always guys, I'm Sinister Skater, and I'll see you guys on the next video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out.